We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 94 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I am your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is great to be back on another beautiful Friday evening here in Portland, Oregon. Sorry that we are running a little bit late this week, but it's been kind of a crazy week. As I was explaining before the show, my computer was having a bunch of issues, so I ended up doing kind of a full cleanse, and here we are. I'm very excited to be back with two of my favorite people, who, for those of you listening to the audio version, you can't see this, but I was stuck working late tonight and messaged these good friends here to say, hey, I'll make it, but I might be a little bit late, and I'm coming straight from work. And in a beautiful display of friendship, both these fine individuals have showed up in shirt and tie to support me over here. So it's very, very kind of them. So anyways, welcome back, y'all. Hydra, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's nice to be here Friday night. Always such a great time. I always look forward to it. And of course, we'd suit up for you, Nate. Why would we not support our good friend? Yeah, happy to be here. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about tonight. I'm really excited to look at some of the new things that we're going to be seeing here pretty soon. So I'm just stoked. I'm ready to go.
Hey, I love it. And of course, Electric Sheep City, welcome back. It's great to see you. How are you?
Howdy, friends. I'm doing fantastic myself. I started my new job on Monday. It's been busy, but like everything's new and shiny. And my wife got 2 job offers. So she yeah, so we're going to actually officially be moving. But timeline's still TBD, but like it's happening.
That's exciting.
Wow.
That's so cool. Wow. I wish that it was 3 so that I could say that's more than 2. But that's so great though. That's incredible.
Yeah, excitement abounds. So we're very excited as well for those of you who may be joining us for the first time. So if you are joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. I'll briefly explain how the show works. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs. And the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all the podcast apps. So whether you're watching or listening to this podcast today, or absorbing it via osmosis, thank you. Yes, you.
Yay! Yes, thank you so much for everyone hanging out here and watching tonight. Also, quick side note and housekeeping matters before we get into the main topic of tonight's show. Did want to say a real quick thank you, quick but important rather, thank you to Shokunin and to the other patrons of our show. We really appreciate your support. It means the world to us. If you enjoy this content that we are making, please take a minute to subscribe and comment on this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, it helps with the algorithms to help other people find us. And same kind of goes for if you're listening to this on a podcast app, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, or whatever else. If you would like to support us, you can leave a review, and that helps other people find us as well. If you're watching live on Twitch, we do have some pretty cool emotes that you can unlock by subscribing, which is also free if you have Amazon Prime. Finally, if you are interested in supporting financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 a month, and any money that we get that way goes back into supporting the show. Speaking of which, I've been working with our artist Christina all week on some new mascot artwork, and it's coming along really well. I'm excited. It was like a little bit delayed this time around. But
it looks kicking rad.
It's super cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I say this every time, but she has like outdone herself, and I'm really excited to unveil it. It's close, but her work is really well done. She puts a lot of time into it, and so we've kind of been collaborating, and I got all the baseline artwork, and then we were all talking about the colors that we wanted it to be, and I anticipate with probably by next week's show it'll be done. So I'm excited to display that and get to show everybody. It'll be great. If you are interested in interacting with us personally, you are welcome to join our Discord server. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's a free program. It's essentially like an online community that you can join up with. You can hang out with us and all of these friends that we've made all across the whole world, talking about Wild Hearthstone, sharing deck lists, sharing real life and jokes and memes and the whole deal. So speaking of which, big shout out to our Discord community. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for sharing the deck list that I'm using to climb with. And to Dr. BOMD, I hope that your foot feels better soon, because that looked kind of painful. All right. Well, that's it for my housekeeping. We do have a rather large announcement in the world of Hearthstone, so let me pass it over to Hydra. What do we got?
Well, coming up on February 15th, we have the new Hearthstone mini set predicted perfectly by our one and only Goliath the Dwarf. Onyxia's Lair will be dropping, and that's very soon. That's only a few days from now, and it's going to be 35 new cards like usual when it comes to these mini expansions. There is going to be 4 legendary cards, 1 epic times 2, 14 rare cards times 2, and 16 common cards times 2. So another thing here is there's multiple ways to get this mini set. If you're the free to play route or choose not to, spend money in general on the game, you can drop that 2,000 gold. You can grab this mini set for free. With the rewards track the way it is now, most of us have probably earned that much pretty easily. So
And
that's
how?
really right. Like that's a really cool thing. I love that so much. If not, you can purchase this. You can save your gold for later on buying packs for the next expansion. You can drop $14.99 and grab the expansion that way. Or for the first time ever, you can get the all golden mini set, which will be 66 full cards because of duplicates, for $69.99. Fully gold right off the bat.
Nice.
Which, when I saw this, I was excited and also, why would you do this to me?
Thank you. Gee, thanks. You know what though? Someone had, as people do, post on Twitter kind of ranting about it's so expensive. And then someone else commented, actually, it's a lot, like if you were going to craft these cards, it's actually a lot cheaper than it would be, buying tons of cards just for dust purposes. And then we were talking about before the show, Nick, Deck Tech, had posted something on there. He's like, actually, by the way, if you want, you can get both. So you can buy the whole set in gold, and you can also either buy it in cash or use in-game gold to buy it not gold. And I was like, why would you want to do that? And then smarter people prevailed and said, like, well, assuming that some of these cards get dusted, or even if they don't, 2,000 gold or $15 for a whole bunch of dust is actually a pretty good deal. And I was like, yeah, I think that's right, actually. So for the whales out there, I mean, I'm not suggesting that you do this, but the value is actually pretty good the more I think about it. So
yeah, I'm typically a dust speculator myself. Like we'll hold on until things rotate and just like hold on to it just in case it gets nerfed, and I might end up getting both just to hold on to it, because typically a mini set card or two gets nerfed, and then even if I'm keeping the gold copies,
yeah.
Dust speculation.
It's so hard not to press the button. I don't know how. I'm gonna have to work on that, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you could go and buy the biggest, what is it, 60 or 80 packs in the store. Crack all those just for dust purposes and get enough dust to craft like 2 golden legendaries or something, right? Like
Oh yeah, if you're lucky.
if you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
So this for the $69.99 is a really killer deal if you want gold cards.
It's actually, it's got to be cheaper, right? Because the bundle,
Oh, yeah.
the largest bundle, what is it, 60 packs for $69.99 US? Which
Yep.
is, what is that? What is that in Canada, like $400 or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. So exactly, but it's actually a pretty good deal. And then we
Yeah.
got this picture, right? You know, that they released here, and then looking at these, like, I want those.
They look great.
I can't wait to get my soundboard set up, and this is where I would insert, oh, new shinies.
Gold and legendary.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, these look cool. And I don't know what the heck that thing is over on the left. I mean, but anyways, so
That is a priest card, though, and I don't typically play a ton of priest, but I might play that one because it looks kicking rad.
It
looks-
does.
it looks pretty cool.
Speaking of the shiny cards, one more thing that we'll be getting when the mini set drops is the Diamond Vandar
Oh, sweet.
will be dropping. And just because you haven't, like, you could still, everyone's going to get it, but if you haven't completed that quest line for your honor or whatever, that's not over yet. You can still do it. That's not closing actually until the next expansion. Full expansion comes out, so that's still there if you have not completed it, because I know I have not completed it on like Asia or something like that. It's still sitting there, but it's cool to know that it's still available to complete if you haven't done so.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's easy to forget sometimes that, like, while those of us over here are like hopelessly addicted to this game, that there are other people that take their time and kind of progress at a slower pace. So I'm glad that it's still available for other people.
Yeah.
So speaking of the mini set, it's coming out very soon, right? So just a few more days. What is that, Tuesday next week, I believe? Yes,
Yep.
that's right. So they've begun dumping like the card reveals almost immediately. So they announced it and they're like, oh, by the way, here's a bunch of cards. Here's a bunch more. Here's a bunch more. And so we're going to take a look at some of those tonight. And I think that will be fun. We've all been kind of swamped in our various things. And so you'll get the kind of fresh hot take from us tonight that we don't normally do. I love prepping for things. I hate going to meetings unprepped or jumping into, well, really anything unprepped, but that's what we're gonna do. So, but you know, hey, you get a raw opinion, hot takes, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I've
And-
not looked at these cards at all. They all dropped while I was working today. I get home half an hour before the show starts.
Right,
So
So I'm looking at the webpage on Hearthstone. The cards are not listed on the Play Hearthstone website yet. They're on out of cards, but they're kind of sorted in with the rest of the Alterac cards at the moment. And so we are using this link here. I will share it with chat as well if you guys want to follow along. You can't see what is on the screen here. It will also be in the show notes for anybody who's listening to the audio version if you want to follow along to see what we're seeing. But I wanted to make sure that we had the cards on the screen so that everyone could look at them at the same time as us. Anyways, card number one, and I'm just going in the order that they're listed on the website here. So this first card right off the bat is
Kazakasan.
So we can finally see the dragon form of Kazakas. That's rad. This looks like it's a neutral 8/8 dragon battle for 8 mana. Battle cry: if all minions in your deck are dragons, craft a custom deck of treasures. So this was Brian Kibler's card that he got to announce, which is so fitting as the sort of King of Dragons here. I didn't get to watch the whole video. It was like a 10-minute video, and I kind of scrolled through it as I was doing 10 other things to see what the card was, but didn't really get to check all of the cool things. Now the website here has got a list of the treasures. What I don't know is whether it It says create a deck full of treasures, a custom deck of treasures. So does it replace your stuff or does it just add to it?
So it replaces your stuff. So you get to discover 5 times, and it puts 2 copies of each of the things that you've discovered in there. And so there are a
Okay.
lot of these treasures that are, for example, from duels.
I was gonna say,
So if you
we've
play a lot
s-
of duels, you may recognize a lot of these
So
treasures.
this is similar to what's that card that Control Warrior was running?
Yeah,
That
Elysiana.
Elysiana,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I recognize a bunch of these from duels. Some of them are pretty good. This is gonna be fun, and I don't know, because of the random nature. I don't know if this is in any way competitive, but it's pretty awesome. And that being said, typically these cards are a very good value.
Yeah.
Small mana cost for a pretty awesome result. I don't know off the top of my head what they all do, but I mean, and I don't know that we want to get into all of them, but it's pretty cool. I don't know if this goes into any sort of like Battlecry deck, like your shaman type stuff or whatever. Probably not, but well, I guess it couldn't really. Unless you want to play the quest. I'm saying it's been a long day. You can definitely can't play with Shutterwalk.
Well, you
It's
could. You just have to draw Shutterwalk first, right? Or you could drop it down
Oh, yeah, it says in your deck.
without it going off, and then once you draw Shutterwalk, if you know your deck is empty, then boom, all of a sudden your deck gets filled back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
This is
you know
also
what?
vulnerable to disruption and stuff, right? Like Albatross and bombs and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you shuffle other stuff into it.
So the
then
bombs wouldn't really interact with it much because they're not
oh
minions,
yes,
but the
bombs, yeah.
Albatross would.
Albatross would, yeah. Or
And so with
weasels.
the Weasel Tunnelers, yeah.
Yeah.
Weasels and Albatross, yeah.
What happens if you have no minions in your deck? Like when
So
you
kind
draw
of like
this.
Reno, if you have no minions, then that counts as well. All of the minions are dragons, so that does count.
All 0 of them?
That's been clarified.
Throw it in Spell Mage just for fun.
Yeah, you could.
I mean I by the way, like seeing it in gold on the promo art is super cool.
They knew what they were doing.
They just got Nate's money. I mean, they already had it, but if they didn't, they
Yeah.
would have just gotten Nate's money.
Oh, 100%. Cards that generate other golden cards. And actually, one of since we're talking about duels, one of my pet peeves, right, is to say you make an all gold deck, but then as they start adding cards, the treasure cards, whatever, like they're never gold. And so I know I get to see them all in gold.
Yeah, buddy.
I like this little crab that eats things and becomes a gigantic crab. These cards are going to be pretty fun, I think. I don't know that it's going to be competitive, but it's definitely going to be fun.
Yeah. I think my favorite is either Anoyo Horn or Bubba for very different reasons for each. So Anoyo Horn is an 8-mana spell. Fill your board with annoying minions. So it's like
Oh
Anoyo
my
Tron, Anoyo
gosh.
Module, like
Yeah.
Noggin
Psychotron.
Fogger.
I don't think that's in the pool, but it totally should be.
That's pretty funny.
And then Bubba is a 5-mana 8/8 beast with Battle Cry. Summon 6 1/1 Bloodhounds with Rush to attack an enemy minion.
It's really good.
5-mana 8/8 with upside. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, this is good stuff. At 8 cost, it's a little weird. Like, this doesn't
Yeah.
go into your Odd Warrior, unfortunately. But, who knows? I'm not quite sure where this fits. It will see play just because it's awesome. And so this replaces your deck.
yes.
Interesting.
So even if your deck is empty, you still get the 5 choices though.
Yep.
So you
Yeah,
get
if your
10
deck is
cards no matter
empty,
what.
You get 10
Like
cards
Elysiana.
added to it.
Yeah, and that's how
That's cool.
Elysiana worked. And so that makes sense. And if control is ever a thing in Hearthstone again, then this maybe goes into that. I don't know. It looks fun. I'm excited to see dragons, though. We haven't had dragons in ages. And I remember kind of the running joke being like, I think in Year of the Dragon, we got like no dragons, one dragon. I don't know. It was like,
Didn't they finally in the final expansion we finally saw some dragons?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I think it was even Galakron's Awakening that we finally got him. Like, so like the
Hmm.
not even the final expansion, but the adventure tacked on to the expansion, which was super
we
ironic.
better squeeze some in right there in the end.
Right in the 11th hour.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious to see what else is here. We were chatting with Goliath a little bit between over the past week, trying to figure out some more lore stuff, and we were talking about black dragons and other how Hearthstone proper has interacted with mercenaries and the story, and what else we could potentially be unveiled here. And so I'm curious to see what else is coming. You say how many legendaries? Is it 4?
Yeah, 4 legendaries.
So it's just going to be
one
these 4 here.
Yeah, so 1 priest, 1 shaman, and 2 neutral legendaries.
Do we think that one of them is Raytheon or no? Maybe.
I don't think so.
It's hard to tell. I don't recognize any of them in their dragon form. So we'll see. I mean, we'll have a better idea in a couple days when everything drops. So, anyways, so this Kazakus is crazy. Dragon Kazakus. It's been a long time coming, and so I'm excited to finally see it. This is like the crazy, and Brian Kibler made a video. I'm anxious to take a look and see it in action. I don't want to spend too much time on it because there's a whole mess of other ones here. So I'll just jump into the Paladin ones next. And so first up is called Battle Vicar. It's a 2-mana 1/3. Battlecry, discover a holy spell.
Yeah. I think that this will probably be played in standard Libram Paladin because most of the Librams are holy spells.
Holy spells are pretty good.
Yeah.
If you're in Paladin, yeah, and the Librams are. I mean, I'm still rage every time somebody plays Libram of Hope for 5 mana, 8/8 Divine Shield Taunt. And
just imagine they get another one.
Yeah.
Well, and we have a bit of a deeper pool in Wild, but not a much deeper pool because the spell schools were rolled out so much later. They backfilled some of them, but not like a super deep well of them. So it's still a fairly small pool for it to pull from, which makes it more powerful, especially since pretty much all those, in particular, Paladin holy spells are pretty strong. So we may play this in even Paladin. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you never know. So the way that discover, so it's not from your deck. It's just discover a holy spell. But like,
Yeah,
the holy spells are pretty good. And like you said, I think most of them are Libram spells, right?
exactly.
I
So
wonder if they'll ever unnerf discover. Back to being. Remember how it favored your class?
It did, yeah.
It was such a frightened flunky pain.
yeah, no,
They had
was.
to nerf it.
now that you mention it, holy spells exist in other classes, right? So it could be pre-spell or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
is it just priest and
typically the way
paladin?
that Discover works is that it doesn't pull from other classes, but the way that it was kind of nerfed was that it's even weighting between class and neutral. Spells aren't really also neutral,
Yeah.
so we don't have to worry about that too much with Battle Vicar in particular. But yeah.
Gotcha. Well, it's definitely interesting, and the stats are pretty good. 2-mana 1/3 Battlecry Discover Holy Spell. This seems pretty good. And can you imagine if you've already played the cards that discount your Librams? Like, you'll discover it. Oh, but it's in your deck, right? So it wouldn't be discounted, I don't think.
So the way that Librams work, Librams are just discounted regardless of where they are, whether they're in your deck, whether they're not. It's kind of like a
Oh.
persistent effect. So once you play Libram discounting cards, whether you discover them, whether you play Lady Liadrin and get them back, whatever, they're discounted. So yeah, that has a
Wow.
lot of really good synergy there.
Okay. Well, that card seems pretty good then. Wow. Okay. Well, I like
Also, it looks like it'd be really shiny and gold.
it. I kept thinking
Yeah,
that too.
it does.
Paladin cards always look good in gold because they're always like yellow and glowy and stuff anyways. And the light looks so cool animated in gold. Yeah. All right. So next up is Stormwind Avenger, 3 mana, 1/5. After you cast a spell on this minion, it gains +2 attack. Yeah.
That seems like it could get out of control.
It seems pretty good. I mean, I
It's
love
got a big butt.
it. Does. I cannot lie. It looks pretty good, and I mean, I'm wondering if we live in a world where Odd Paladin ever comes back, and I'm a little skeptical because it got hit pretty hard, but there were cards that buffed other things. Yeah, I don't know. I probably there's not enough synergy, but I don't know. I always have that odd or even in the back of my mind when I look at these cards. It also seems good, though. I mean, definitely there's synergy with Battle Vicar and all the other Libram stuff. And so this looks like it could get out of hand pretty quickly, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of 0 mana spells you can cast on that, which give +3/+1 instead of +1/+1.
And it's cheap.
Good.
It's only 3 mana.
Yeah.
I really wish it also had taunt, but like you can't get everything, right?
Or you hide it behind a taunt.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, it almost has like, what do you call it? Like Emperor Thor's like a soft taunt or whatever. Like it'll get out of hand if you leave it there. And Paladin buff stuff all the time. I mean, it's more in standard than in wild, but I mean, it seems good for what it is. So
yeah, and when Librams rotate, maybe they'll put a lot more of those kinds of synergies in because they're not constrained by Librams. And then we get to use them with both Librams and non-Librams. So I think this one has potential right out the gate and gets even better whenever things rotate and they're not constrained and standard by Librams.
yeah. Hey, you can play it in a Galvadon deck.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh dear. All right, so next up is a rogue card. It is a 3 mana 1/3. It's called SI7 Smuggler. Battlecry. Summon a random minion with cost equal to the amount of SI7 cards you've played this game. Okay. Well,
Standard card.
Yeah. Goes along with the SI7 deck.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's not an SI7 card, which
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's an SI7.
Oh,
smuggler.
you're right. I'm sorry. They don't, it's not considered like a tribe that they put at the
Tribe,
bottom, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Right,
so it would
exactly.
So if you play 2 of these, like this count, because there's other cards that say, based on the number of SI7 cards that you play.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, but I agree with you. It feels like a standard card. I don't really see spending a lot of time on it. It actually
That's
seems
a card.
it seems pretty good
Yeah.
in that deck, but that deck is not great. I mean, I did okay with it in standard when I was, goofing around or had a daily quest to complete a Stormwind quest.
Yeah. Additionally, we have like such a deep card pool in Wild. If it's a random 4-drop, some of those are really good. Some of those are really terrible. And we just have such a deep pool in our format that it's not really consistent enough to, kind of high roll. Because you can low roll so hard. Yeah, I'm going to get an 8-drop and it's Hyreek. Here's a 1/1.
Give me wings.
Yeah. All right, this
standard card for sure.
this next one is interesting, and I think that there's potential. Like, I can't wait to watch Dane play it because Dane will break it, and then we'll all try it and fail at it. But like, I don't know. I almost feel that there's potential here. It's called Smokescreen. This is an 8-mana spell. It says draw 5 cards, trigger any death rattles drawn. So you definitely have to build around it, and like, it's so slow that it's probably a meme. But like, if it says trigger any death rattles drawn, like it could be kind of crazy. What if it's like 2 owls and I don't know what else. Like you could put some stuff.
What if it's Deathwing Dragon Lord, which
pulls all your dragons?
And Rogue there's already a Dragon Rogue there, right? So boom, all of a sudden you've got a really big high roll potential on top of a whatchamacallit, Sprint, right?
Yeah, I mean, drawing cards is good. 8 mana is expensive. I mean, you'd want to reduce it, but like the new Scabs hero reduces.
Yeah.
Or you could play preparation or coin or something like that.
And I'm sure if you wanted, you could shuffle certain cards back into your deck, gang up or something
Yeah,
with
no,
this.
you could
If you
do.
wanted to trigger certain death rattles. I mean, it's expensive. It's better than Sprint.
That's
Yes,
true.
much better than Sprint.
If you draw it late, that's that's a bummer. But like you said, there's already an existing deck, and I put it in, like we were talking about last week. It's a hipster tier level, but like
Yeah.
it's not bad. It's very underplayed, but like I don't know. It'll be interesting. Is it too slow to actually be competitive? Maybe. I'm not sure. It's definitely cool. Looks like a fun meme. That's a glass cannon. Yeah. That's probably a pretty good description for it. And I'm just gonna move on then. Okay.
Yeah.
So next up is Shaman card. It's called Bracing Cold. It is a 2-mana frost spell. It says restore 5 health to your hero. Reduce the cost of a random spell in your hand by 2. Yeah.
Pays for itself. Also heals.
It
I don't know why we'd want to run this in our deck, but it's not negative.
If you're stalling, right? You're healing. You're trying to reduce stuff.
I don't know.
I don't know. It might find a home.
I mean, where I could, I don't know. So there's cards that tutor other cards. Some of them is draw a spell. Some of it is draw a frost spell. Some of it is if you draw a frost spell, then reduction of stuff is good in general. Reduction by 2 is great. If you're playing this in wild with like Spirit of the Toad, like I don't know why you would want to do that, but drawing stuff seems good. I don't know. There are, and I really see this played in standard primarily, where there's some spell based, shaman stuff. Maybe reduction is good. Maybe frost synergy is good with the bear thing, right? That summons things for how many frost spells you played. I don't know.
I mean, we've been like Free Shaman was such a flop when it first came out. They're finally giving us what we wanted. Okay, they're like, yeah, here's a freeze card, take it.
Right, but the thing is, it doesn't freeze. That's what's weird to me, right? It says restore 5
That's
health to your
true.
hero and reduce a cost.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't freeze anything.
It doesn't do anything cold.
No,
It's a great
Or
point.
even cool.
the artwork is cool.
Yeah, the
Like we could have
artwork is
called
pretty
this
rad.
literally anything. I wonder if it used to do something and they changed it.
By the way, as a total side note here, I haven't read fully through it, but I'll find it. I posted in the Discord earlier, but Cora had a really cool thread on Twitter earlier that was like a designer insights thread, and went through a whole bunch of these cards excuse me, and went through the kind of the design process behind them. And I mean, it was like one tweet per card getting into the behind the scenes of it, which is really cool. So if you're interested in how these were developed, it's really neat. And one thing to keep in mind is that these were developed a long time ago and implemented now. So there's some kind of pre-planned synergies with existing stuff, and probably future stuff for that matter. I believe that there was some talk, and I don't know if it was this card or a different one, of it reducing your entire hand instead of one card, and that would be too problematic, so it was changed.
Yeah, and you'd run that in pretty much any shaman deck if that's what it did.
Yeah, or if it was all spells in your hand, so not minions, but still, right? And so you play decks like this. It took me a while to figure out what they meant by it, but like there's a Shaman OTK deck in Standard that essentially runs a bunch of corrupt cards that do damage. And when they're corrupted, they do more damage. And then when you play Yasiraj, you get them all back for 0, and you can kill your opponent. We've all learned by now that spell reduction is good. So,
Yes.
but I don't know where this fit. Like in Wild, this doesn't fit. I just don't see it.
No, I really don't either. I mean, spell or mana reduction always has the potential to get there, so we could be
Yeah.
wrong, but like, I don't see it, so
Yeah,
I don't think I'm wrong.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like it's a standard card is what it feels like for me, and so it'll proc cards like the Baron that will make little duders for however many frost spells that you've played.
Mm-hmm.
And it heals, which is kind of cool, I guess. But
think of it, this is crazy. So this is 2 mana, reduce 1 spell in your hand, right? Flow also cost 2 mana at one point.
that's true.
Dead.
Did your whole deck.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that the effect is good, right? Healing good, reduction good, but like what do you take out to put this in? I don't know. And then so it feels
and
like
what does
standard
it really
to me.
advance, right?
Well,
It pays for itself, but
it does.
Yeah, it's free.
but
where I could see it being played is, I mean, definitely standard, or what I can't think of the card off the top of my head. It's the one that draws a bunch of other cards based on how many spells from different spell schools that you've played earlier in the game.
multicaster.
Right? So maybe there's some synergy there, or if you're reducing cards, like Schmoopy's saying in chat here, that if there's cards like Dunk Tank that corrupt, and you reduce the cost of those, that they're easier to corrupt. And that makes sense. Again,
Which is what standard we'll use it for sure.
Feels standard.
Standard.
All right. So there's lots. So let's just move
What
on.
doesn't feel standard is Spirit Mount. So Spirit Mount is a 2-mana shaman spell. Give a minion +1/+2 and spell damage +1. When it dies, summon a Spirit Raptor. Like the mounts from the course of the year, the effect is what the mount is. It's a 1/2 with spell damage +1. There's already a burn shaman with the what is the not spirit of the shark, spirit of the frog.
Yeah.
That will eat this up. Like it has stealth for a turn anyway. Oh, hey, here's stealth for a turn. I'm gonna draw a 3-dot drop and give that stealthed minion +1 spell damage, and like you can just pop off so much easier. I love it.
It's sticky. It seems pretty good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that scares me. You're trying to get rid of the spell damage, and guess what? It poops out spell damage.
But wait, there's more.
I love it. This next one is pretty interesting. I saw the story behind it, and it made me laugh. So this is a Warlock spell now. It's called Infestation. 6 mana. Summon a 3/3 Dread Imp to attack each enemy minion. So potentially a board clear. It is a Fel spell, so there's some synergy there. In the dev notes, they said that it was like the previous iteration of the card was called Ultimate Infestation. It was summon a 3/3, draw 3, and deal 3 damage as a
Oh my gosh.
which I think is hilarious. As a pretty nice throwback to Ultimate
really
Infestation.
is.
But
That would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been great flavor and a great callback. But I mean, even as it is, basically, words Soul Mirror. It's basically Soul Mirror just with 3/3s, right? And it's 1 cheaper, but if you're playing against aggro, like you know me, I love me some aggro druid. If I've got a board of 1/2s and 2/2s and like basically little token dudes, then this is better than Soul Mirror because this summons a lot of 3/3s that stick.
Yeah, they'll live. That's scary.
But it does cost 6 mana, so it may be a little too slow for us in Wild.
yeah,
But it might not be if aggro itself is super popular.
I don't know. I mean, Pirate Warrior is running rampant at the moment, and like you're playing this on turn 6, it's too late. I don't know. I like the card. It seems interesting, and I could see being frustrated when like you've got this board control and they play this card and now your whole board is dead and they might have a couple left over. I don't think it's bad. I just don't know that it's super good, and from a Wild perspective, it seems too expensive to me, and I don't know where the heck I would put it. At 6 mana in Wild, I want to be playing
I don't know if we'll see this in Wild at all.
No, we
don't
want to
think
be
so
playing,
either.
Reno Jackson or a Giant or anything else besides this, probably. If I could see it being like if this was in Demon Hunter, it could go in like a Fell deck with Jace, and that would be pretty good. But it's a Warlock card, so anyways. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. Next was a Warrior card.
Hit it very hard.
I wish I had the sound. Like, there's definitely a sound bite that says that, and I love it. Cora said she was very proud of this one. So, 1 mana warrior spell, gain +10 attack, and can't attack heroes this turn. But this seems very good. I don't know, what it quite goes in, but it's a 1 mana clear a minion. So
It is
Dog and
odd.
Fogger Warrior.
Noggin Fogger.
Yeah,
It's
it's the first
random.
thing I thought of too.
That's hilarious.
Glorious.
We just start
It is
running all
odd,
those.
so you can play it an odd warrior.
That you definitely could. I think that, gosh, you just put in all the cards that say that there's a chance that minions attack the wrong thing or whatever it is. But that's only your hero, right? So I guess it would only work with Noggin Fogger. 50% of the time it works every time. That's great.
You have to wait till turn 10 though
Yeah.
to deal 10 damage.
That reminds
I
me
mean,
of
that would be that's a pyroblast.
I don't know, but it can't go face. That's a bummer. I don't know. It could be
Yeah.
good in standard. I don't know what you take out to put something like this in though, right? Unless some kind of control thing comes back, but in Wild I don't see it. Could you maybe stick it in a Dead Man's Hand or something? Like maybe, but I don't like. I want to be like doming somebody for 10, not killing their minion. But at the same time, like one mana kill a minion is pretty good. Now you're gonna
single
face,
target removal.
I mean, you're gonna face tank a little bit of damage, but probably do that anyways. So
Yeah, I feel like if Control Warrior is a thing, this will be in it. And I think that this is just kind of one tool that they're giving standard for Control Warrior to maybe be a thing. I think we've got other tools that we'd rather use in Wild. This isn't a bad tool. If you have a limited card collection and this is one of the things you got, cool. But yeah, I don't think this is necessarily meant for us.
what's okay, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, okay, so Wombo combo here from Dekoslav. I hope I'm pronouncing that right in the chat. So there's a card called Soulbound Ashtongue. It's a neutral 1 mana 1/4. Whenever this minion takes damage, also deal that amount to your opponent. So that with Silas plus hit it very hard, you could dome your opponent for 10, I guess.
Yeah, it being a 3-card combo just to deal 10 to your opponent is a little contrived. I mean,
It feels a little much, but
it's a great OTK with Shield Slam, and
yeah,
that's awesome. But I don't know that we'd really want to do it just for the payoff of dealing 10 damage.
I love
Yeah.
seeing
And
these.
steal a minion, I guess. So that's a possibility.
I mean, it works. It's just not great.
Yeah. Well, I love seeing these. These.
Unless like you have multiple copies of this somehow and you play a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Dead Man's Hand.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, well let's move on. We got lots. So next one up is called Shoulder Check. This is another warrior, and it is tradable. It says give a minion +2/+1 and rush. It's a tradable card. I'm glad that they're still printing tradable cards because they're kind of cool. I don't think that it really does much of anything.
When I get the quest to play 12 tradable cards, I will put this in my deck and then I will take it out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
we can just
not-
move on
it's
if
not
you
bad.
want because the next one is
Arena card.
hey, there you go. The next one looks kind of crazy. I think that Someone
Yes.
someone in chat mentioned it probably break wild, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did. So it's called Curse of Agony. This is a Warlock card. It's a shadow spell. It says 1 mana, shuffle 3 agonies into your opponent's deck. They deal fatigue damage when drawn, and so we're looking at, assuming they haven't milled themselves yet, the first one would do 1, the next one would do 2, the following would do 3. But if you're somehow able to send a whole bunch of these in, by the way, Tammy is a card, and this is a shadow card, and you can run 2 of it in your deck. So with Tammy, you could shuffle a whole mess of these in. So instead of 3 agonies, we'd be looking at 12. And, and that's a lot of stuff. The combo seems actually pretty easy to pull off, because we see a bunch of fatigue, at least in standard right now, a lot of different variations on fatigue Warlock decks, whether it's Owl or whether it's the Quest, the Demon Seed. In Wild right now, Owl is also good, which I never thought I would see. Mechathune, of course, is still good, even with Rod at 5. And so I don't really see a downside to this, because card's crazy, and I'm excited to be getting it in gold. And when it gets nerfed, then I'll have my backup copies ready to go. So
I've seen a great Theorycraft deck of Togwaggle Warlock.
Oh, barf. All right.
So you definitely run the rod of the ramrod. I forget what it's called. The rod of roasting. There we go. And so you do that so that you can discount it. You draw all your deck. You play Togwaggle. Boom. Switch it over. Play 2 of these. Oh, hey, look. If you run the augmented Elic, play 2 of these. It becomes 4 of these, even without Tamsin. Ruined Mithril Rod. Thank you. So you run. You all of a sudden, your opponent has no deck because you just Togwaggled the deck. You play 2 of these. Boom. They have their next one draws a ton of agonies, which deal a lot of fatigue, and then they're just drawing into fatigue more. They did the calculation. I think with the Elic, it's something like, I can't remember if it was 90 or 900 fatigue damage in one turn.
My!
I think
it was 90, but I could be wrong. It's a lot.
Line cracker counter.
That's funny.
I'm gonna try that. That sounds fun.
It
For me.
does. For me, yes. Not for my opponent, but it looks like a blast.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me. How many more do we have? We got so many reveals early
There's
on.
lots.
Oh, holy cow! All right. Some of these are tokens, so let me just go back up here. But let's move on then. So these are cards. Yeah, still more that were revealed earlier today. So looks like a Demon Hunter card. It took me a minute. I still can't always tell between Hunter, but the artwork is definitely Demon Hunter.
Yeah, Demon Hunter is slightly darker and has a lighter green filigree through it. So Keen Reflex is in fact a Demon Hunter card. 2 mana spell. Deal 1 damage to all minions. Honorable kill. Gain +1 attack this turn.
I assume that means your hero gains 1+ attack this turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't really see it. Like I've played a handful of Demon Hunter in Standard, and when I run stuff like this, like, wouldn't you just play the Fell version that does 1 damage to everything and then does 1 damage again? I guess where this will trigger is if it kills multiple minions, this honorable kill will stack, right? So if my opponent has a board of 1/1 Silverhand dudes, and I use this and it kills the whole board, then I get 7 + 7 attack, right? If I'm reading it correctly.
Yeah.
So I guess
Get out of here, Arcane Explosion. This is way better.
there's some potential, but it doesn't, like, I don't know. I don't really see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. If Demon Hunter gets some sort of a equality or Lord Barov style effect, then Keen Reflex all of a sudden becomes great because it's AoE that then has an upside of you're then attacking for 7 or more if you have a board that's getting honorable killed as well.
I missed that. Yeah, it does all minions, so it'll be your stuff and their stuff. Okay.
But unless Demon Hunter gets some sort of an equality or Lord Bear of effect, it's a whirlwind that has an upside, which isn't bad.
It's a crappy combo with our next card here. It looks like.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, really. So the next one up is called Wings of Hate. It's a ranked card. So this says rank 1 is 1 mana, summon 2 1/1 Fell Wings. It says upgrades when you have 5 mana, and I don't know what the upgrades are, but I assume it's summon 3 or summon 4 or whatever it is.
Yep. Rank 2 is summon 3. Rank 3 is summon 4.
All right. And so you could use this with Keen Reflex to get a very large maybe attack.
I feel like Demon Hunter already does such a good job of gaining attack anyway.
Yeah, where I see the synergy and Armor, and I think hit the if I'm reading chat correctly, or someone, maybe I missed it. But anyways, they've kind of been slowly pushing multiple archetypes, and if we look at the token version, that runs the giants that cost less every time something dies, that there's some potential here for, I don't know, some discounting. Like if the Fellwings had Rush, then it would be awesome probably. But if it's just 1/1s, like
they're 1/1 demons, but yeah, they don't have Rush or anything like that. I mean, token generation, it scales into late game. Wings of Hate seems decent. I don't know that I would really pair it with Keen Reflex, but I also don't really know that I'm playing this in Wild at all.
No.
So.
No. Yeah. Oh, maybe it was Bitbeaker. Yeah. I don't know. It's like tokens and Standard is kind of where I see it. If I had to pick
Agreed.
2, I think Wings of Hate is better.
Yes.
And in Wild, like unless something drastically changes, I don't really see a world at the moment where we're running anything that is even cost. I've seen a couple like aggro versions. I talked about one not too long ago from Major Tom that did well, but generally Demon Hunter is like, it doesn't even make the tier lists these days. And if it ever does again, it's probably the odd version. And maybe at a much later date, we'll have a more competitive like Reno list or big demon list. But even Warlock for the most part can't do that type of thing anymore. At least not at the moment. And so if Warlock can't do it, when was the last time you saw Q block or something like that? Then I don't see Demon Hunter really doing it with half the amount of tools. I don't know. Whatever. It's cool. I like seeing old mechanics come back. So we have a rank spell that we haven't seen in a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will laugh when they break Wild Spell. Yeah, probably. Someone will find something. This next one seems interesting to me. One more Demon Hunter card. It's called Razer Glaive Sentinel. It's a 4 mana 5/4. After you play the left or rightmost card in your hand, draw a card. And again, I don't really see this in Wild at all.
It's kind of like a Luna, sort of, right? If you think about it,
better. I mean, because you
could do either or.
Yeah, because
you got like a bonus one on the left if you can get it going. So, hey, some sort of miracle thing happening, drawing out through your deck. I don't know where it's going to go, but I know that when Luna does this, it's really annoying. So,
I think I know. Okay, so we've got this, and then we've got the Demon Hunter weapon that every has +1 attack for every card that you draw that turn. So you run that, you run Razer Glaive Sentinel, and you run a ton of 0 or 1 cost things to just go through.
Yeah, or you just play the quest, right? I mean, the quest is still pretty decent. Like this, you play this post quest, you just draw your whole deck, right?
And you have that weapon, so you're actually doing something with them all too.
Yeah, there's potential there.
I could see it going in a combo for sure. With spell or with cost reduction seems.
Yeah, Lion's Frenzy, I think, is what that weapon was called.
We need to give it a funny name, like Lions. I don't know.
We'll think of something.
I got nothing. Sorry. But I like
Lions Roar.
There you go. I liked the last one though. The last one we was pretty funny here. The boom. What do we call it? The ruined ramrod of roasting. I like that.
Ramrod.
Yeah.
Car ramrod.
All right. So next up is a Shaman Minion here. This is a 5 mana 4/5 called Boomkin. It says
It's a druid.
Druid, yeah.
Oh, what did I say?
Shaman.
Oh,
That's okay.
it's a. My brain is not working. Druid Minion. 5 mana, 4/5. Choose one. Restore 8 health to your hero or deal 4 damage. Interesting to see the choose one mechanics coming back. And there's another card next. I think it was Chalky or someone had mentioned, or maybe it was Alec mentioned on the next one that the text has been updated. But anyways, interesting. If we go back to choose one cards, which we haven't seen in Wild in ages, but now that there's a large pool, you could potentially make a deck that would be fun, that would do both. I don't know.
And there's a choose one quest that whenever you leave 1 mana or more, whenever you have leftover mana, you can
Forgot
just
about
all of
that.
a sudden all of your choose ones do both, right?
Yeah. That was
It
a thing.
hasn't been competitive in a while, but like
It was.
it was.
Yeah.
So potential is there. I don't know that this is necessarily going to be the one that like gets there, but the fact that it's restore 8 health to your hero and then deal 4 damage and not just restore health or deal damage. So you're not having to angle at your hero to then only do a net restoration of 4, right? Because it just automatically heals your hero and then does the 4 attack.
And I like that
Damage.
the 4 damage could be a minion. It could be to their face. So
Yeah.
it's
I like that.
targetable. Yeah, I mean, actually, it seems like
Boomkin TK.
I will say it makes me want to potentially try. When I see stuff like this, I'm like, oh, well, there's 2 new choose one cards. Maybe there's more. I don't know. It makes me want to play that deck again. I really enjoyed that deck when it was alive. So, All right. So next one is Raid Negotiator. It's a 4 mana 3/4. It says Battlecry Discover a choose one card. It has both effects combined, and I think that is the updated text. I think it is. I believe the previous version that was posted said discover a choose one card. The next choose one card you play has both effects combined, which could probably be pretty busted. And so I think they fixed it. I was at work when I saw the post, but I remember them saying that there was some update to the card text, but I believe the one here is correct. So discover a choose one. It has both combined, and that could be good. I don't know. 4 mana 3/4 seems pretty good.
Choose one cards are typically good. You're discovering it, so you're choosing the one that like you're choosing the choose one card that is the one that you want the most. Seems solid to me.
It's a bit of a slow tempo play.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, and it doesn't. Again, this is probably a standard thing. I'm not. Well, actually, now that I think about it, most of the choose one cards are not standard anymore.
Yeah,
And the quest
there's
definitely
been a
is not,
handful.
right?
No, the quest is
Is
ours.
this long gone? Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, I wonder if it'll be good. It definitely doesn't seem bad. I like looking for synergies. That's the thing. And I see 2 choose one cards, and that's it. And it's like, well, they seem pretty good, but where do we go with this?
And really, the best choose one cards, especially whenever they have both effects, are wild exclusive, like the 5 mana 3/3. Either get additional 2 in stats and rush, or summon a second one. Boom! All of a sudden,
That card's awesome when it. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just what it is. With Raid Negotiator, you don't even have to complete a quest; you just discover it.
Yeah. Well, and some of them are pretty crazy. I mean, the one that was broken in Wild combo for a little bit. What is it? Heal 12 or make a 6/6 taunt or something like that.
Heal 6, but yeah,
But anyways, yeah,
still good.
It's still good.
Oh no, I think you're right. I think it was 12.
I
My
think
bad.
I think it might be
think you're right.
Oasis something or other.
Oasis Ally.
There we go. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful. These next couple of cards are interesting, particularly the two spells. But
Yeah.
so we're looking at hunter cards now, and maybe it's a good thing that they're even cost. Otherwise, we'd probably be time traveling back to the meta of a few months ago. But this first one up is called Furious Howl. It's a 2-mana spell. Draw a card. Repeat until you have at least 3 cards. One of the things that Hunter gets so few and far between is card draw.
Yeah.
And so seeing card draw in Hunter, one of the decks that I've seen recently doing very well on ladder, and again, it's not that easy to play though, is even Hunter. We see people like Seth or a couple of folks do super well with it. And if I'm going aggro and I'm just dumping my hand, 2 mana, draw a card, repeat until you have at least 3. Like I can dump my whole hand and then 2 mana, draw 3.
That's pretty solid.
Seems good. I don't know
Uh-huh.
I don't know why you would not put it in even Hunter right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I think it just slots right in instantly. Why would you not? I mean, like, at the worst, it's draw 1 card, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
At the
Like,
worst, but
At the worst. And no matter what you get, it's not like quick shot where you don't get a card when you don't meet the condition, right? This always, you at least still get a card.
in
Yes.
even Hunter, this is almost always going to be a two mana draw 3, right? I mean, I would build around it if we're going to go that way.
Yeah, I'd make everything super cheap.
Yeah.
So you're just emptying your hand.
Well, I want to skip the Pet Collector and talk about Dragonbane Shot as well.
Yeah.
So the next one is Dragonbane Shot. It's a 2 mana spell, Hunter spell. It says deal 2 damage, honorable kill, add a Dragonbane Shot to your hand. And so depending on what the board state looks like, you would then use this to kill a bunch of stuff and just keep adding them to your hand. And then it could go face. It could kill a minion. If it kills a minion with honorable kill, then you get another one.
Mhm.
I don't know that this goes in even Hunter, but it definitely doesn't seem bad.
Ooh.
It seems good.
I can't wait to play this in Questline Hunter, period. I think there's a reason why this is not odd.
Oh yeah,
Right?
no, because if you can play it multiple times also, then you're ticking off your quest super fast.
Exactly. And it's honorable kill, so it's not just twin spell. You could keep on doing it as long as it's honorable killing.
Yeah. Over and over and over again.
And that 2
I
damage
dare you to
can
play
go
Living
face.
Mana.
Yeah, right though. and that just says deal 2 damage. It's not to a minion. That goes face. And if you honorable kill the face, then you can do it again.
Hey, there you go. Oh, okay. So we have this minion here called Pet Collector. It's a again Hunter card, 5 mana, 3/3. Battlecry, summon a beast from your deck that costs 5 or less. Excuse me. So what beasts cost 5 or less?
Thunder Rhino.
Yeah, there's actually some pretty good ones. So yeah, looking at a Teacher's Pet is one, Witchwood Grizzly is one, Tundra Rhino is one. There's some
I think
stuff.
if you're playing guardian animals, it's the same thing that you would want to be doing there, right? So if you're running a guardian animals hunter, regardless, I think you just throw Pet Collector in too.
Probably. It doesn't give it rush, right? Like Guardian Animals does,
No.
but
No.
still, I mean, it could be pretty good in the right build. I like the card. I don't know. I don't play a ton of Hunter, but I could see it being really good. You just have to build around.
Yeah, I can see Pet Collector being played in the listener series a lot.
Oh my god. Schmoopy
Yeah.
says it's Vandar friendly, and that is,
It is.
very true.
Oh yeah.
That could
Oh,
be gross.
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't
season.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
So
you
we,
Vandar a charged Devil Sword, and all of a sudden Pet Collector pulls charged Devil Sword.
Oh no. Oh jeez.
oh jeez. That's great. Okay, so we've got 7 cards left. Let's jam through them real quick. Why not? Okay, so these were revealed yesterday. So first up is a Warlock Minion. It's called Spawn of Deathwing. It's a 5-mana 6/6 dragon. It says battle cry, destroy a random enemy minion, discard a random card. Okay. Hunter or Warlock, dragon, destroy, random, discard. That's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know that it goes in any sort of discard thing, but that's a pretty interesting effect. I think I don't know.
Warlocks don't do a lot of dragon stuff.
Warlock does almost no dragon stuff. I know I've seen Daniel do it before, but I don't know that we really. I don't know. I mean, typically your discard Warlock wants like low cost stuff, right? We're gonna accidentally end up discarding this in discard Warlock because we discard
it's too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Like,
love
it does
the
a cool
effect.
thing.
This almost wants to be more of like the discard quest than it does just like straight up disco lock, right? Where it's more the mid-range one with the like late game inevitability. You're playing like Jeklik, stuff like that,
Yeah,
which hasn't been strong in a while, but
no, you'd want to discard a card like you said, like Jeklik that you get back, or like what is it, the Hand of Gul'dan that draws you 3, or
or Silverware Golem, or Fist of Draxus, like that. Almost more like mid-rangey kind of style, which
it would have been better like as a like say, I don't know, a I don't know, reduce it all a little bit, 4-mana 5/5 or something lower. I don't know. 5 mana is a lot in Wild where things go so fast, and number one, I haven't seen discard Warlock in a long time. Cute Lock is probably better, which is still, I don't know, it's hard to play, but it's feels expensive to me. I kind of struggle to see it going into the deck. Strong effect. You're sad if you discard a card that you don't want, and so you have to really play around with it. You know, where you've got cards like that we played around historically, like Doomguard is a great example, right? With it, the battle cry is terrible because you have to discard 2, but if you play the Skull of the Minari, then you can play it without having to do the battle cry. Or if you get it from the void caller, or other ways of slamming it down for free. But I'm not really aware of any dragon synergies that exist in Warlock. I don't know. Like the battle cry is great. Well, the first half of the battle cry is great.
First half.
If you just remove the part that says discard a random card, then I'd be like, oh snap! All right, I'll play this.
Yeah, I'll take it. 5 mana 6/6, kill something. Sure.
Yeah, it would be a big game hunter, right? But any minion. But
well,
except
and the
it's
fact that
random.
it's a random minion could also
you're
have
right.
some
No,
downside.
yeah, you're right.
Silverhand recruit.
Yeah, I know. You're playing against a freeze shaman that's got a whole board, and this will kill the token. You know, your little 0/1.
And discards your Draxus. Oh no.
Oh jeez. All right. Next up is called Deep Breath. This is a mage spell. It says it's 5 mana fire spell. Deal 1 damage to a minion and its neighbors. Improved by the number of other spells in your hand. So I suppose the more spells you have, it just does more damage.
Yep.
I don't know. I never was a big fan of hand mage.
More of a no minion mage style thing.
Yeah, because if it was just the size of your hand, then probably pretty strong with like LPG mage or something. But the fact that it specifically needs them to be spells makes it a lot tougher.
I like no minion mage for funsies, but not for like competitive. I bet this will look really cool in gold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. I don't think it's going to be viable in Wild at all.
Nope.
All right. This next one, I kind of had flashbacks to that card that I can't think of the name of because it's been a long day. So this is a priest dragon. It's called Lightmaw Nether Drake. It's a 4 mana 4/4 with battle cry. If you're holding a holy and a shadow spell, deal 3 damage to all other minions. That's awful conditionary. It's not a word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Conditional.
really conditional.
Where I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it was the 3-mana 3/3 that does 3 damage to everything else if you're holding a dragon. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I know the stupid dragon you mean. It's so annoying. Yeah.
Right, right.
Dustbreaker, yeah.
Dustbreaker,
Yeah,
Dustbreaker.
yeah.
So same cost. Lightmaw Nether Drake has +1/+1 in stats, but also has a much harder condition. If it was just
If it
a
was
holy spell or just a shadow spell, then that'd be one thing. But like, you have to have both.
yeah,
That's two things.
if it said
Yeah.
if it said or, I would say this is great.
Mm-hmm.
But to have both, I mean,
Yeah, I
I
feel
don't
like this
know.
is
And it kills your own
trying
stuff
to-
too.
Yeah, I feel like this is trying to go off the back of the one of the new cards from the most recent set, the 5-mana 5/5 with
Taunt, Death Rattle.
with Death Rattle, draw a shadow and holy spell. This then, oh well, they finally killed that 5/5. Now we're going to start dealing with the board, but we have better things to be doing.
I mean, if
We're
we're
not
gonna,
running that card to begin
I was
with.
gonna say, if we're talking about Wild, like I just play Dustbreaker, and we don't even play that anymore. So I love
Correct.
Dragon Priest is super fun back in the day. I don't know that it'll ever be good again, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. Even then, I don't think this is good enough. So next one is interesting, and again, maybe is kind of a bummer that it's not an odd cost, but maybe that's also a good thing. I don't know. It's called Onyxian Drake. It's a warrior minion. 4-mana 4/5 dragon with taunt. Battle cry, deal damage equal to your armor to an enemy minion. So it doesn't seem bad, actually. Especially, I saw someone shared and again, this is standard, but I don't know, whatever you want to call it, like almost like a control style warrior where you're gaining a lot of armor, and there's like an OTK on the top end with Captain Galvanger, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
And if I'm gaining a bunch of armor, which is not super hard to do, then I use this. It's got good stats for the cost, and I can use it as spot removal, and it's got taunt. Seems like it has pretty good potential to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna see any play in Wild.
No.
But by the way, last night, you know what? I lost to I thought it was a pirate warrior, because that's all I've been seeing on ladder, and and they were playing a bunch of pirates. So turn one, it was like pirates, patches comes out and everything, but they didn't play the quest, and I was like, who does this? Why are you playing the pirates without the quest? And then they started playing a bunch of Galvadon, or is that right? No, Galakron cards. And yeah, it was crazy, and I thought I was gonna win, and then I did not win.
Oh no!
But I was just surprised. I was like, oh, misplay! You forgot to put the quest in your deck, and then got domed. But I forgot how good those dragons are. That if you've invoked twice, that it makes 2 other copies with
Scion of
Rush or
Ruin.
whatever. Yeah, that stuff is
Really powerful.
So I don't know. This card seems good to me. It doesn't seem like a wild card, but you never know. I mean, maybe there's a thing. I don't even know what even warrior does. Is it just did it cost 1? You hear about it cost 1?
Yeah, it's just that it costs 1.
I,
But skin in general, yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
Long day. I get it.
no,
Well,
I mean,
and-
nobody ever played it either. It was like that.
Yeah.
It was never a thing. Every once in a while, I'd see someone playing like Baku Priest, and it's like, what does this do? So I had to think about it for a minute, and yeah, I don't think so. It's kind of sad, but I look at this and all I see is standard. Probably pretty good though.
Well, and if we end up doing any dragon warrior things, which we could do for funsies, not for, competitiveness. I mean, why not throw a Enyxian Drake in there, right? Like it's shield slam with a body that's a taunt and a dragon, so it has other dragon synergies and a shield slam on top of it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, hey,
All
just
right.
throw Kazakus in there as well, the new Kazakus, right? These other cards, actually, Dragon Warrior in standard could be okay. This Enyxian Warder looks
It could.
pretty okay. Next card is called Onyxian Warder. It's a 5-mana 3/6 dragon. Battlecry for holding a dragon. Summon 2/2/1 whelps with rush. Which seems pretty good to me, and not that hard to
Yeah.
do. So I like that.
It's a dragon, has a condition for other dragons with upside.
Seems okay.
Yeah. I mean, that seems pretty okay.
I don't think it's amazing by any means, but hey.
No, I
feel
mean, I
like
look
they're-
at these and I don't see the only one I've seen so far in this set that looks like it has potential to like be competitive in
Agony?
Wild is that Warlock Agony whatever card
Yeah.
that everyone is going to be hating when they lose to it very soon. Next one up is another neutral called Whelp Bonker.
That's so funny.
It's a 3-mana 1/5 that has Frenzy and Honorable Kill. Draw a card.
So does that mean you have to do both conditions,
No.
or
I
either
think
or?
I think it's both, right? So Frenzy is take damage but not die. You'll draw a card, and then Honorable Kill if this kills something with exact lethal, then you'll draw a card.
Yeah, so the and shouldn't be bolded is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because it has frenzy, and then it also has honorable kill.
Ooh,
Yeah.
and
Card.
it
It's
is
a little misleading.
it is neutral. I didn't think about that. And
It didn't have rush.
yeah,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, a 3-mana 1/5 seems pretty good. Again, I don't
Acolyte
know.
of Pain was a 3-mana 1/3. It wasn't just frenzy, but we ran that all the time. We don't anymore, but this has a bigger butt and other ways to actually get the effect besides just like taking damage, then can actually deal some damage and chip away at some of the tokeny board and draw more cards. I think it's probably a little slow for what we're trying to do, but it's got upside and arena card, I think, at the end of the day. But
I just like that it's called Whelp Bonker.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my favorite part.
That's pretty funny.
art is great.
Yeah. All right, so the last one we have here for today is a Shaman Spell. It's called Don't Stand in the Fire. It costs 5 mana. Deal 10 damage, randomly split among all enemy minions. Overload 1. How much was Volcano? Was it... I'll just Google it here.
It was
Don't stand
5
in the
mana.
fire.
Hey, new parody song incoming. Yeah, it was 5. So Volcano says 5 mana, deal 15 damage, randomly split among all minions, so not just enemies, and it was Overload 2.
And this is enemy.
This is
Yeah.
seems better than Volcano to me because it doesn't hit your stuff and it overloads
And
one
it's-
less. But then again, like where does this go in? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a
If
good
we
card.
were playing Volcano now, we would take it out and put Don't Stand in the Fire in its stead. But we're not really playing Volcano now either.
No,
so-
yeah, very very few and far between. I mean, I think almost never. I've seen a couple of interesting takes on the Shutterwalk list pop up lately. And sometimes people put Healing Rain or something else in, but I don't think I've seen a damage card like Volcano in a long time, so I don't really see this. It is classified as a fire class spell, so there's potential synergies with other cards that require certain spell stuff or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really see it.
Fire Shaman. You have to use the Ragnaros hero portrait if you're playing Don't Stand in the Fire.
That's great.
Don't stand in the fire.
If you do, you'll burn your feet and you'll have no more shoes.
Don't stand in the fire.
Oh, it's great. It's great. So it looks like that's all the cards that we have so far. There's some other stuff here, but they're just tokens. So we get the Enyxian Whelp, the Wings of Hate, which is the Demon Hunter upgraded like Fellwing thing. Some Dread Imps, your Brucon's Raptor, which yes is definitely a 2 mana 1/2 a spell damage +1, and the Agony token. So here we go. cast when drawn, take 1 fatigue damage, and then they would just increase in damage amount. Agony is going to be the card, I think, so far. The card that we all come to love and hate probably in equal amounts.
I feel like we're sort of used to when these expansions and mini sets come out. We already know in Wild that there's only going to be a couple decks. And Warlock's going to get something broken, but there's only a couple cards that are actually going to slot into our decks. And for some reason, they just love to give Warlock something broken.
Right. Yeah. No, it's always like it's always Warlock. It wouldn't be right if it was a different class.
Yeah.
Cool. So the rest of the cards are coming soon, TM? Do we know when? Is it by tomorrow?
They had an outline. I'm just drawing a blank right now. I think it's all tomorrow. But it could be over the next couple days. Regardless, the entire mini set is coming out on Tuesday. So we only have a few short days till we'll all be able to play the mini set.
Yay! Let's see.
Sweet.
I think we had it in the Discord somewhere. Anyways, over the next couple of days. Oh yeah. It looks like the last reveal. So today's Friday, February 11. They have card reveals scheduled for the 12th and the 13th and the 14th. Looks like the last one. So
yeah, and every single day, like at the very beginning of the day before the actual card reveals happen, they've been having a video with Swaybe where she like tells a different part of the story and gives clues, and that's really cool. She's an awesome content creator to begin with. And then like just the story and the ambiance and the kind of like added extra stuff is just making the card reveals, which are already exciting, just feel so much cooler. So like I'm a big fan of that too.
Oh yeah. That's really cool. And I actually am also a huge fan of these really quick reveals. I never really enjoy so much when a new expansion is coming out and then it takes them a month to reveal all the cards. Like, so when we get to see the entire card dump over 4 days or whatever it is, like that's great. Give it to us and then we can get hyped about it and then we can play it. And it's all so fast. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
So here's your face.
Oh, got him. All right. Well, that's the mini set. So those are the hot takes from us. I think the kind of overwhelming opinion is that these cards are interesting. A lot of them are probably for standard as opposed to wild. Kazakukus, whatever it's called, the new dragon thing looks pretty fun. How viable it is, I'm not quite sure. And the Warlock card is probably going to do broken things. I think that sums it up pretty accurately.
There it is.
Yeah. So we're kind of sort of towards the end here. I want to pass things over to Sheep to talk about this week's listener series challenge.
Yeah, so this week's challenge in the listener series is called Mega Highlander. It was brought to us, submitted by Dr. BOMD. So Mega Highlander, for Highlander Reno decks, you can only have one copy of each card per deck. Mega Highlander, you can only have one copy of each card per lineup. So if you decide to have, a Reno and Zephyrus in one deck, that means you can only have Reno and Zephyrus in that deck, and it cannot be in any of your other three. So your whole lineup is all completely a Highlander lineup rather than just individual Highlander decks. So this is probably the one that I've been looking forward to the most. It was really fun to cook up decks for this one.
Yeah.
How did y'all find cooking up decks for this week?
It was super fun. It was actually pretty difficult to do the cross-checking. I think was the hardest part for me. Was to, I guess the way that I kind of went around building my decks was to try to put as many class specific cards in as I could so that it was less for me to have to double check. And it was fun. So I searched duplicate and forgot, there was cards that I totally forgot about, like Elise in Druid will get you copies of your opening hand or whatever it was. Sir Finley and Paladin, and there's a couple others. And so I ended up with Druid, Hunter, Mage, and Priest. And it was fun, but it was so difficult to double check all of the stuff. I was using the deck building tool sometimes, and so it would want to dump in a bunch of cards, and I have to take them out because I already used them. So trying to keep track, I ended up using Donkey to post my decks in, because then I could see all four next to each other, and then I'd try to cross check. And I used the Control F to search to see, make sure I didn't have this card in twice. And I did that a couple times, and so I was able to submit all my decks with no duplicates. But it was tricky. I think Hydra said that he used like a spreadsheet or something to make sure that there were no duplicates. And
that's what I did. Is I made sure that I used Excel and
that seems
made
smart.
it so I can't have a duplicate. Like, it's gonna tell me if I've typed the same thing in twice. And so I just was typing in all the cards that I have, and if I had a duplicate, I already knew. So that helped a lot, and made sure that I didn't have any. Though what I ended up kind of doing was I had like a pirate warrior, and then I had a secret mage, and then I had like a control like demon lock, like Reno lock basically, but it didn't have a Reno in it. But I saved all of my Highlander cards for Raza Priest.
Nice.
And my other decks didn't have the Highlander cards in it. They just all went in Raza Priest, and then the only deck I won with was Raza Priest.
I was gonna say, is that the one that your opponent banned, right?
No, they didn't ban it. Which was nice, but that's the only one that I actually won with, because it had all the good cards in it.
That's funny.
Swarm Tides and I both banned each other's Raza Priests, so
That's great.
Either one of us had access to them.
I played Vapod this week, and we went to game 5, which was cool. I lost. I ended up losing, and so big shout out to Vapod. It was super fun and great decks. I had a lot of fun. Like, I made janky stuff this week, because my initial thought was like, well, the Cabal classes are always good when you try to do this thing. And I didn't want to build Raza Priest and Reno Warlock and all the stuff. I was like, I'll do some weird stuff this time. So I made Druid with I just jammed both N'Zoths and a Hadronox in it, and that was fun. It was fun. It was a good. Cool. I mean, we went to game 5, so I did okay with this stuff. So that was fun. I made a Highlander Hunter, which got banned. But Dino Tamer Bran is a card, and so is Bran, and so that was the ideal win con was Bran, Dino Tamer Bran, which actually Vapod brought as well, and I lost to in game 5 was Bran, and that was cool. It was crazy. I made an LPG mage deck but it was Cthulhu LPG mage, like original Cthulhu, and so I just jammed all the old school Cthulhu cards into it, and I played like Tortolin, and I think the only real spells, it was like Tortolin Pilgrim with LPG and Potion of whatever that gives you the 1/1 copies, and and so I ended up getting lethal with a hero power to get down from 14 down to 13, and then a 1-mana 13/13 Cthulhu for lethal. It was
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
I like the deck is terrible, but it was so much fun. And then I made I'm trying to think what else. I made a priest deck, but my goal was to make it a Dark Bishop Benny priest.
Cool.
Except I made a mistake of having non-shadow spell in there, which then just messed up my whole game plan. So,
oh no,
oops, that happened. It was super fun, but that was the deck that did not get a win for me. But overall, the whole thing was so fun. I really enjoyed it. I figured Shaman would kind of be busted because you could make like a Reno Shutterwalk Shaman type thing. I was looking for like off meta super jank stuff. Vapod brought a hand buff Paladin, that was really good. And in this type of format, the new Cariel hero card was just insane.
good.
It was like, I was like, ha, look at my giant board. And then it all got cleared, and then everything in the hand got buffed, and then it was just kept getting domed for 2 every turn. And I was like, I don't have anything that can break that weapon. Okay, I guess I'll die then. But anytime we go to 5 games, it's super fun. And yeah, it's great. I loved it. It's so fun doing the non-normal ladder Hearthstone stuff, and that's what I like so much about the listener series.
Yeah. It also lets you, do a lot of different and innovative deck building, right? So Swarmtides and I both brought our own different versions of, Highlander, aggro druid. So,
Cool.
Nice.
I built it kind of my way where I've got like a lot of beasts and pirates and beast and pirate synergies. Things like Captain's Parrot, who is a beast, but then pulls a pirate from your deck. That's pretty cool. Shando Wildclaw is basically a way to run a second Embiggen without running a second copy of Embiggen.
Yeah.
Whereas Swarm Tides did a lot of the different like taunt synergies, right? So you've got the 2 mana, was a 2/3, now it's a 2/2 card that makes all of your taunts cost 2 less. And then Oracle of Elune, and could do all sorts of stuff like that. I think that one ran Drekthar too, but I can't recall offhand. And then so I also brought a Secret Hunter, which was incredible, and ran Dino Tamer Bran. I did not run the other Bran in that deck because I ran that Bran in my Paladin, and that Paladin had all of my Highlander synergy cards. So it ran Reno, it ran Zephyrus. I mean, I guess my priest also ran Raza, but if Paladin had access to Raza, then I'd probably have done that. That Paladin, of course, also ran the Lightforged Cariel. I ended up winning with the Paladin like super quick because I played High Priest the Call on 3, which converts all but one of your hero's health into armor. And then the very next turn, I coined out Lochalar the Ice Lord, which is normally a 10 mana 8/8 with Russian Wind Fury.
Oh,
Cost
no.
5 less when you have 15 health or less.
That synergy is great.
Yeah, buddy. So like I had the 2 mana Murloc, that Death Rattle Draw Dragon, and only 1 copy of Nozdormu, which makes you have 10 mana. And so my original plan was to drop Red Scale Dragon Tamer on 2, and then on 4 drop the 4 mana 8/8 Noz. But whenever on 4 I could coin out that Lochalar the Ice Lord, an audible was called.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So stuff like that you don't get that kind of experience on ladder.
Oh, no. Yeah,
you
no.
do
Felt
not.
so good.
That's awesome.
You're not going to win with Cthulhu Mage anytime soon either on ladder.
No, unfortunately. So we're just wrapping up week 5, which means this is the last week before we go into playoffs. And so I'm really curious when we do our weekly maintenance over the weekend to see how the points all end up tallying out, to see who goes to the playoffs. That'll be exciting.
Yeah,
I don't
now.
definitely don't think I'm made it. I would have needed to get like a 3-0 win, I think, to even have a chance, but that's okay. I'm not looking to do that anyways, but I had so much fun, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I always love this stuff though. It's a blast. And for anybody that's interested in it, we're kind of wrapping up this season here, but as always, there will be more seasons. And typically what we'll do is after the show is we'll host a game and cast it here, share the matches later on YouTube. If you join up in the Discord, there's a separate Discord for the listener series, but a lot of people will share their replays there as well. And Yeah, we have a blast with this. And so if anybody's interested in playing, a lot of weeks we don't spend as much time talking about our stuff, but this week was so much fun that I loved it. It was a blast to do and participate in. And so if you're interested in playing in a semi-competitive like weekly tournament based series that has all kinds of crazy deck building challenges, this might be something that you're interested in. This doesn't cost anything to participate in, and it's just a lot of fun that we have with our community. So yeah, we'll see. We'll figure out this weekend who made it to the playoffs. Hopefully we can cast those games, and yeah, I mean, let's wrap up this season before I even start thinking about next season. But it's been an absolute blast.
Yeah, this season has been a blast, and we typically start up each subsequent season about a few weeks, sometimes up to a month after a new expansion itself drops. So mini expansion, not so much. Wait for the expansion proper. So this, like Nate mentioned, is the final week of the regular season. So then we have 3 weeks of playoffs coming shortly. So stay tuned. Watch out for those playoff games, and it's going to be a blast. If you want to join the listener series next time, stay tuned, especially around the drop of the next expansion. So that is what's going down in Listeners Series Town. Speaking of listeners, Hydra, how did the Listeners Challenge go this week?
Well, this week in the Listeners Challenge, we had make a giant dude and let your opponent dome you with it. So the idea was to make your opponent kill you with the biggest minion possible. And we have a spectacular winner. Mikkel was what appears to be playing Linecracker Druid, and then Silas over a 20,544 attack Linecracker. And then his opponent chose to say, "I will crush you," before attacking with it.
I almost wonder if, because you I early on with Silas, I was confused at how it worked, and I've done before oops, I passed it the wrong way. Can you imagine your opponent's probably like, oh my gosh, this guy, should have gotten a 1/1 or whatever, and now I got his giant attack 20,000 thing. It's so funny.
I will crush you.
Yeah, and then smacks him for lethal. That's pretty funny. I think that's pretty hilarious.
That's great. Oh yeah, wait. Here's the picture. So I forgot to put it up. Yeah, here it is. 20,000. Yeah, 20,544 attack. It's good stuff. Oh.
I thought that was pretty cool. Especially the story there with the emote, the fully unnecessary.
Right. That just makes it that much better. I love it.
So for this week's challenge, we're thinking of trying to keep it something to do with dragons, maybe Onyxia. We haven't had too many ideas. I was asking in chat a little bit to see, but the one thing that I came up with, since it's all about Onyxia, is to kill your opponent with one of Onyxia's whelps. Lethal, not with Onyxia, but one of Onyxia's whelps. Now, there's usually going to have to be a tiebreaker because, more than one person can obviously do this. So I guess tiebreaker would be the biggest whelp that ends up killing your opponent. So if you would like to participate in this, what you can do is you can play this either in casual or in ladder. You cannot play against a friend or the innkeeper or any of the other solo content because your friend will help you win. The innkeeper is not very intelligent, so the innkeeper will also help you win. So yes, we don't want to tank your rank. So if you do not want to try such a silly thing on ladder, hop into casual and take a screenshot of you killing your opponent with Onyxia's whelp, the biggest one preferable. Doesn't have to be, but do that. Take your screenshot, posted in our Discord under the weekly challenges channel. The winner will be announced on next week's show, and you will receive 2 Hearthstone packs on us and be immortalized in the Hall of Fame on the Born to Be Wild website. And those 2 Hearthstone packs, by the way, are from an expansion of your choice.
Yes. Actually, you know what? I learned something kind of interesting over the last week or so. Interesting is my nice way of saying bad. Unfortunately, that it's so if you go on the Battle.net website in order to gift packs, you can only gift, I think you can only gift packs that are available in client, because we had one of our past winners interested in Goblins versus Gnomes packs, and the only options were to buy them for myself. Like, there was no option to gift them. It was so weird. I could gift wild packs, but not the GVG ones. It was so strange. So anyways, that was interesting, but
Disclaimer, no GVG packs.
Any pack that's available in the store. The other piece that I should mention, just because we're here, somebody had a great suggestion in the Discord, and I thought of Archville and Rafam, like, I like this suggestion. I think I will take it. In that the Discord is busy and things get lost, and sometimes due to technical difficulties, things take a little bit longer to post. Hopefully that's not an issue going forward, but the suggestion was to get whatever the weekly challenge is and post what the challenge is and when the deadline submission is in the Discord, and maybe have it like be pinned for that week or something. And that makes a lot of sense for people who aren't able to catch this live, or if we're running late or whatever. So we'll do my best to do that. I think that's a great suggestion. So yeah.
So shout out to Arkham Cookie for that suggestion.
Oh, was it
Thank you,
Arkham
friend.
Cookie? Hey, thank you. Yeah, thank you. That's a great suggestion. That'll be helpful. So rock and roll, everybody. Well, hey, that wraps up this week's show. Really happy to be here. I was nervous that I wasn't even going to be able to make it this week, and so I'm really excited that we got to come here and then give our fresh look hot take at these upcoming cards, and big props to Hydra Sheep for dressing up for me. It was so nice. Yeah, nicer things have never been done, and you've seen that on Born to Be Wild. Oh, hey, one last thing. We have a special episode coming next week, where we're going to be doing, I know we just did one, but we're going to be doing another lore episode for the mini set with Goliath, and that'll be fun. And so the timing, we just need to wait for the rest of the cards to come out, but we'll be looking at the Black Dragons and whatever sort of legendary cards or other minions that are introduced, and kind of do a deep dive into the lore behind Onyxia's Lair and the Black Dragons next week. So
Goliath, I hope you have a suit.
if I can, if I can, I would do the show in my bathrobe. I've got a nice plaid red bathrobe that's
we could definitely do bathrobe week next week.
We could do theme weeks, honestly, you know what I had thought about for Halloween, they have like a Murloc costume. I was going to get like the Murloc and just be a Murloc for the whole show. And right. We'd have to have El Tino on though, because he does the best McGurgle noise.
He does.
Oh dear. All right, everybody. Thank you. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Job's done.